Thank you, Jeunesse family and guests, for joining us for this very special event. Today, we have the distinct honor of welcoming Diamond Director Mark Smith, who's the co-founder of Team Freedom International. I invited Mark to join us today so I could interview him for our team and guests to gain insights from his experience about how to assess a viable work-from-home business opportunity and hear about the success strategies he uses in his own business that may help you too. Before I bring him up, I want to first share a few things about him and his background for those of you who may not know him and may not be familiar with his impressive accomplishments in our industry. First, Mark has built teams with millions of distributors during his 20-year career in our industry and has been a top earner in 3 companies. He's developed a reputation as a systems guy, which is in part what compelled him to launch Team Freedom International, which you'll hear more about during our interview. On the personal side, he lives in Southern California with his beautiful wife, Tammy, and their 2 great kids, who are a big part of his reason why he got into networking, to build a lifestyle around family, fun, and freedom. If that kind of lifestyle sounds good to you, listen up as I dig into his story and let him share a little bit about how he built that and what we can learn from his rich experience that may help us build our dreams as well. Mark, I want to welcome you to our Zoom webinar.
Well, I appreciate it, Janet, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to be working with you, and I know you have some big questions of me today, and I guess you're going to put me on the spot, but that's a good thing. I like an interview style because I think people really want the real story, where it's not as scripted, and they just want to know, hey, you know, are these folks just like me? And if they can do it, I can do it too. So I appreciate you having me on today, and I'm excited to kind of go through this interview process with you and talk a little bit about how we've kind of come together, and excited to be doing big things with you.
Perfect. Well, let's jump right in then, Mark. And why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about how you got started in network marketing?
You know, my story's probably not that much different than a lot of people out there that have gone looking for different opportunities. I actually had a background in the military. I was raised in a military family. My wife, Tammy, was also raised in a military family. And we were chugging along as this young couple, newly married. We met in Hawaii, and shortly after got stationed in Maryland. I was going through a cardiovascular cath lab program there. My goal was I wanted to be a heart surgeon. And so some of those goals sometimes you have to put on pause because of life gets in the way and finances. And so for Tammy and I, were expecting our first child. We're on a military budget, and we realized we really needed to figure out some other way to have some side income. And Janet, it's interesting because it wasn't a goal to go full-time in network marketing. We didn't even really know what network marketing was. A total stranger shared this with us. But once we got started, we realized, wow, it had all the benefits we loved about the military. That was the camaraderie, the team building, the support, being part of something bigger than yourself, people having your back. I love the systems of being able to train people. With much more income. And that's really what it came down to. And so that's what led us into direct sales. And it was really more so for Tammy. She wanted to be able to not have to go right back to work. And she was able to never have to go back to a traditional job. Of course, we work hard at what we do, but it allowed us to, Tammy stay at home. We now have 2 children. And then eventually I left the military and went full-time at network marketing. So it was a pretty awesome situation for us.
Yeah, I share that with you. I think there's a lot of co-leaders of families that go into network marketing for just that reason. Even if they could make big incomes in corporate America, the trade-off is they don't get to play that role of being hands-on parents quite to the degree they want. So that was a great answer. Thanks. As a top earner in 3 big name programs, Mark, tell us what it took to achieve that level of success multiple times.
You know, I think it comes down to, it's probably the opposite of what most people believe when they look at a top earner in this industry. They may think, wow, they must know volumes of information and have volumes of manuals that they provide to their team. And they must have, training courses all day long to teach their people the secrets of how to do this business. It's really the opposite. Really, the top earners have figured out that you have to keep it very simple. And it's not how much you know, it's really what is your delivery method? Can you keep it simple? So I really always break it down to, is your system simple enough that a new person that brings in a new person who brings in a new person, can that person really make it? And if your system is simple enough, then you'll know you've kind of hit it. And so I would say, I have this saying that you're always one step away from blowing up your system. And it's kind of like an oxymoron. What that is, you know, people tend to want to add step 4 and step 5 and step 10 to their system. And you really want to keep it just a couple little steps, because that new person has a full-time job. They may be married, they may have children, they may be taking care of a grandparent, and they're doing network marketing for some extra income. And they can't have to get, you know, a PhD to be able to do network marketing. And so I would just credit our success with keeping it extremely simple, and never, ever, ever forget where you came from. Remember what it was like to be a new person, and develop everything around that. So that's probably the key to what has really helped us build big.
And I'd like to add to that, being that Klaus and I have newly aligned with Team Freedom, is that you have managed to create an unbelievable culture, Mark. And this industry is so much about relationships. People will be forgiving and give you grace if you have real relationships. And along with being systemized and keeping it simple, you've also built some incredible relationships.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up. You know, culture, you know, people will stick around long enough to become strong enough to learn it all, to make this
Right.
business work for them at whatever level. If it's just about the money, and if it's, you know, sign up, watch this training, and this is how much you can make, most people probably won't make it. There needs to be the glue that holds them together. And I really do. The culture is a big part of that. And people that are having fun tend to be more successful. You know, I think fun and happiness is a big thing. And so if it's all about business, you know, think about it, most people have 1 or 2 careers, or a career in a side business, and this may be a third side business. And if it's not fun, why do it? You know, most people that join direct sales and network marketing, they don't sign up and say, hey, I want a second boss. I'm dying to have another boss. Right. You know, they want to have a friend and a partner that's going to push them up, push them when they need to be pushed, and pull them when they need to be pulled. So culture is everything. You know? Yeah,
and you've done a magnificent job creating that for us. Hey, when you made that tough decision, Mark, to leave your former company, why did you choose Jeunesse over every other company in the industry?
You know, that's a real easy one for me. So I've been in the industry, like you had said, at that point for about 20 years when I made the shift. And, you know, I had already been looking at many companies just from a competitive standpoint, where it's like, what are the other companies doing? And I was a co-founder of a company. And so I would study in the top, what I considered the top 5 companies in the world. And doesn't mean that it was at the very top of the top 100 list. I'm talking about what I thought was the 5 top companies in the world on what they delivered to the market, the technology, the resources, the size of their market. So how many countries are they in? And all the cool programs that are bolted on to a company that keeps them current, okay? So there are some multi-billion-dollar companies out there that you'd say, well, that must be the first one on the list, but not necessarily for me, because sometimes if a company doesn't keep up with the changes of the times, you can't attract the zillennials. You can't attract the millennials. I got a 19-year-old daughter. If I tried to show her the way that I did this business 20 years ago, it wouldn't be attractive to her. You know, she wants to get on Snapchat. She wants to use Instagram. She wants to have fun. She wants to market some products through social media. She wants to hang out, you know, things like that. And so, you know, I really saw that Jeunesse was innovative, very, very innovative in every aspect, from their training programs to their app technology, to their approach. So I'm going to go through, this is going to be a little bit longer of an answer, because I think it's probably one of the most important decisions people make, whether they know it or not, right? If they're new and they've never been in the industry, they don't know to ask these questions.
Right.
But if they've been around, because sometimes, you know, like Janet, you and I, we've been in the industry for a while, we know what to look for, right? And there's specific things in a company that you really want to look for. So first of all, the founders of Jeunesse, they're about as sharp as they come. I mean, their story is incredible. Randy and Wendy, and they're intelligent as they come. When you sit down with them and you talk business, you know, you learn from them. I've learned a lot from them. And their story is very unique, where, you know, Wendy has this really strong mathematical background. She's a mathematical statistical analysis. analyst. You look at this compensation plan. They've never changed the compensation plan. I mean, that's something to say about that. You have a rock solid plan when you're not changing it every other month and your team's all over the place, wavering. And so when a founder can talk to you about the programming of the actual comp plan that they designed themselves, it's a big plus as a top leader in the industry, because you're not talking to someone on the other side of that desk that's never done what you're doing. She was a distributor at heart. Okay. So you're talking to a founder that was a distributor and came all the way through and became an owner. And it's just a different conversation. So she gets us. Okay. Randy is a guy that, did not come from money. At one time in his life, at 16 years old, he was actually homeless, eating out of a dumpster in the back of a restaurant. Okay. And his story is just amazing. And he went from that to joining the Army, got an incredible education. He's extremely smart, ended up becoming a software engineer. Actually was a big part of coding the software for the launch code for the NASA shuttle program. Okay. So he went from nearly being homeless for a while to that, leaving the military and going working in the aerospace industry. It's kind of where he made his first run at making significant income, and then went on and founded companies, met Wendy, and they went on, and the rest is history. That's really important. You don't have just two entrepreneurs that had a bank account that said, hey, let's just buy a network marketing company, or hey, let's just start a network marketing company. Because some of those companies out there, and I'm not saying they're bad companies, but it's just a different, foundation. It's a different ownership suite. When you go up to the ownership suite of Jeunesse, these people have done it, and they can talk to you about it, and they can talk to you about every nook and cranny of their company. I mean, they're running their company. That's the other thing. They're grinding it every day. I appreciate that more as a top leader, because I'm grinding it every day. This is for my family, my kids, my organization. And so you want to know that the person that's calling the shots is in the game with you. Okay. Now let's talk about, just from the standpoint of Jeunesse's platform. Okay. They're in 160 countries. So I know there's going to be a lot of professional networkers that probably watch this interview. And the reality of it is, when you're looking at a company, and maybe as a professional networker, you might have 5 countries that you've built in, or maybe you've had 20 countries that you've built in. And for whatever reason, there's all kinds of different reasons that people make a shift and find a new home. You always have to take into account, who am I losing? Because I'm going to a new company and they don't have those 4 other countries. That's a really, really difficult decision to make for most leaders. That decision is completely taken out of the mix in Jeunesse. They are the world. They're 160 countries. I mean, I didn't even know there was 160 countries. Okay, I'm not sure I knew there was. I didn't know that there was, as many languages as we're translated into. We walk into the Jeunesse home office, and our customer service suite that's in Orlando, I mean, they speak like 27 languages just in that office. I mean, they fly people from the world and move them to the home office so that they're a language specialist. I mean, that's really, really impressive. And the logistics of how they make this all work is very impressive. So you have the founders, great foundation. You have a true global build. Pretty much Jeunesse is pretty much everywhere that you would want to build. And then it comes down to, and I think you're going to ask me a little bit later, more detail on the product. So I'll go into that a little bit later. Products are there. The product proposition is incredible. But I like the innovative way that Jeunesse drives the rhythm. Okay. And I want to spend a moment on this, because I think music and tempo and rhythm is how you build a massive organization. Okay? It's not how fancy you can be, and it's not how technical you can be. It really is, do you have a drum beat that's fun, that's exciting, that's predictable, that's consistent, that the average person can plug into, and it's predictable. When you're trying to raise 2 or 3 kids, and you're married, you may be donating time, volunteering at your church, you got all these things going on in your life, you're a soccer coach on the side, the last thing you can handle is one of these direct selling companies that's literally changing their color every day, changing their tune every other day, changing their management every other, month. And we've all probably been a part of things like that. And you get this poor person that's spare time, part-time. When I say poor person, that I feel bad for them. Okay, not that they're physically, or monetarily poor, but they're sitting there going, I thought I was joining a professional organization that was consistent and predictable, right? You're the expert. Show me how to do this. Jeunesse has mastered this. And I was very envious of this, watching from the outside before I joined this company, because I couldn't figure out, how do you get that many people in an event in that many countries? How do you pull off the translation? One of the first events I went to in Jeunesse is I went to Berlin in Germany, And, they had like 15, 20 languages. And so when my wife and I got there was these lines by a language to get your headset. And I was like looking, and I'm like, I've translated in 2 languages at once, 3 languages at once, not dozens of languages. And it was spot on translation. And I get to sit in an international convention in Berlin at the Velodrome. If you haven't been there, they also do the best venues ever. It's an underground convention center. And you walk up, and the only thing you can see is the roof, and you take an elevator down.
Wow, awesome.
It's absolutely amazing. And to see, that was my first big event, and it was it. I was sold. I go, all right, this is a whole nother level of network marketing. And so their event system is tied into what we call the travel point system, okay? And the travel point system and event system is this tempo. So as network marketing leaders, we all know the name of the game is how many people can you get in your organization into your national convention, okay? Because those are your serious players. And then how many people in your team can you get at whatever your company does for an incentive? Most of us, we love incentive trips, okay? Jeunesse has built their entire platform from the ground up on those 2 things. It's actually part of the comp plan. So Janet, a lot of times you look at a compensation plan, you go, okay, well, what is the cycle pay and what are the bonuses? And that's all great. They have an incredibly robust compensation plan, but it's what you don't see in the comp plan. For the person that's new, that doesn't have a big team, that's not a pro, you don't really get to see the full thrust of the comp plan because there's all these other programs bolted into the compensation package. So these travel points work like this. Pretty much everything that drives the business is, looking for folks that want to be sellers in your organization and looking for folks that want to buy their products, right? So your customer acquisition and distributor acquisition. And they reward you with points outside of the compensation plan and outside of how cycles and all the money works with travel points, okay? So every 6 months, everywhere in the world, there's a regional convention, which is a national, we call them expos, okay? And then every 6 months, there's an incentive trip. And so what you do is you accumulate your points where they actually allow you to drive your team into a convention. I've never seen this before ever, where your team can go for free, where they can get $1,000, $2,000 in airfare vouchers, where they can earn up to 4 nights hotel, and where they can earn up to 17 meals. I know that sounds crazy, 17 meals. Like every period of time over 4 days that you would need to eat a meal, you get a wristband and you go into a place and get a meal that they pay for. Awesome. I mean, you've probably never heard of that in your career, right? It's unheard of.
I have not.
Yeah, and so I know this is a long answer to a very easy, short question, but this is Jeunesse. This is the tempo, okay? And so this goes back to where you asked, like how we've done it 3 times on the level we have. It's that rhythm. It's finding 1 or 2 things that the masses can do, not 50 things that you can teach them, 1 or 2 things. Most people are part-time, spare time. And so we just follow that travel point system where 6 months you're running into your convention and you can earn all different levels of that. Maybe you're just earning a convention ticket for free. Maybe you're just earning your hotel for free. So there's all different levels. And then from convention, they launched that trip. And now you're using your points for that trip, okay? But let's talk about what the trip is. I've been all over the world in network marketing, and I've earned plenty of incentive trips, all the way from a brand new distributor to a top distributor. Jeunesse's trips are very, very different. They're not a 2 or 3 day low budget trip somewhere, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because some companies, especially when you're starting up, that's what you need to do. And some companies have a different model where it's very low budget trip and they're trying to get a certain amount of people on that trip, and then they'll have a high dollar trip for the very, very top. The challenge with that is it's the very, very top. Okay, and not everybody's going to get to the very, very top. Okay, yeah. The high performers, the folks that put a lot of time in and treat it very, very serious, are going to get to those top positions. Just like in anything else we do in life, right? And you spare time your job, you're probably not becoming the president. Okay, you full time your job, you study, you get mentored, and you want to reach those top positions. You maybe have a shot at becoming a regional manager or a president of your company or a region. And so what they've done is, these are the trips. Like in North America, for example, last year they took everyone to Greece. And I'm talking like 2,500 people went to Greece. I've been in this industry 20 years. I've never seen a company have a no rank promotion. Okay, it's just on travel points and you can go to Greece. And it's not a low budget resort in Greece. These are like top branded, 5-star resorts. This year's, I'm sorry, that was Greece, and then there was Rome. That was another trip, okay? We're all going to Greece. We postponed our trip to, I think we're going in December. So we got 3,000 people going to Greece. That's just North America. That's not the whole global company. That's just the North America trip, okay? And so these are the places they go: Africa, Dubai, Greece, Rome, a Mediterranean cruise where they got a bunch of yachts, big giant yachts, and kind of side by side, like 6 giant private yachts where they took folks on trips like that. They've just done some really amazing trips. And I'm talking no rank. This is the base of the program. So you go from convention to trip, all in this travel point tracking system. And then of course, at the top ranks, they have other trips. And those trips are off the charts. 4 Seasons, where is it? What was the last one? It was Bora Bora. So they've done that 3 years in a row. So the Diamonds have gone to Bora Bora. I think one of the only companies that have bought out all of Bora Bora, 4 Seasons. And so they have when you already have your baseline be Rome, where do you go from there? And so they top that, okay?
Right.
Yeah, so I think this is important because most people, the naked eye is not going to reveal this when you look at Jeunesse. You have to get in the inside of Jeunesse to go, wait a minute, how are they doing that? And I'll end with this part, Janet. Last year, we took 29,000 people globally on one of these trips, 29,000. There's probably only 3 or 4 companies in the world of direct selling that put that many people on a trip, and those trips are all at the level that we're talking about.
Wow, that's just amazing. And I learned something from that, Mark, actually. It really shows the heart of Wendy and Randy at the top of this program. But I also am imagining Wendy being the numbers cruncher that she is, that monetarily it works for as a corporation. They've figured out how to motivate people, drive towards goals, and it keeps them engaged, and it solidifies these relationships. And here's the cool thing: they believe in their field first, which is really incredible. They give first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very generous people. Tell us a little bit about Jeunesse's world-class products, if you would, Mark.
Yeah, for me, products are everything. I know there's a couple of different ways people look at direct selling. Like, they think, I've heard this before, product comes second. Not in my mind, and definitely not in Jeunesse's mind. If you're going to represent a company, it doesn't matter what the compensation package is if the products are not good. All right, they've got to stand up on their own. You want repeat buying. You want to feel confident about the product you're offering somebody. And there's things out there you can make money at that maybe the products are not as world-class, but what you'll find is you're not going to get that true benefit of network marketing where you have really true repeat customers that are really in love with the products. I think what they've done is genius. Some companies will have one product and they'll make a great run, right? And then you kind of at some point you have that run and then it's kind of over. Then other companies will have 2,000 products, and then I think that's just too confusing, especially to a new person. The catalog's this thick, and you say, hey, check it out. This is our catalog. We Live Jeunesse, probably one of the most, I think it's one of the most professionally built catalogs in the industry. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's just really, really well put together. The reason I'm sharing this with you is they've actually built an app technology that actually goes with this. So you can download a free app. You could be sitting down with a prospect. You can flip to a page and scroll your smartphone camera over any page in this book, and it'll bring up every single asset and video that's connected to that product.
That's great.
It's like every resource you would want in your hand, right? But if you notice, it's not that thick, right? Because you want an approach that makes sense. So what they've done is they've built what we call the youth enhancement system. And so all of our products it's the yes system, have to fit in this wheel that we call it, and it has to synergistically work together. So we don't just take on a product because it's, the next big thing that people are raving about, or there's great margins, or it's the new sizzle, the new bright, shiny thing out there in the industry. We really stay very rigid on our product proposition. Does it fit in with who we are? And does it fit into the youth enhancement system? Mm-hmm. And so one, they've aligned with incredible doctors. And I live out here in Southern California. Dr. Nathan Newman, he's a world-renowned plastic surgeon and stem cell research scientist out of Beverly Hills. If you were going to go book an appointment at his center, you're probably in a year and a half wait list. He's definitely that type of a doctor. He's on our scientific advisory board, but he's also the formulator and the inventor of all of our skincare product, our skincare line. We got a proprietary plant-based stem cell ingredient called APT200, and that comes out of his labs here in Southern Cal. we've got another doctor, Dr. G.M. Papa. He's one of the first 3 anti-aging doctors in the classification of the whole vertical market of anti-aging. Very famous. Received a Nobel Prize nomination for the formula in the AM/PM, which is our all-inclusive, multifaceted, I hate to call it a multi-day vitamin because it is definitely not. It has everything under the sun, you know, prebiotics, probiotics, DNA cellular rejuvenation elements in it. It has it has 72 different vitamins and minerals in it. It just has a little bit of everything, and it's balanced well. My wife says it's guy-proof. You take the AM in the AM and the PM in the PM, okay? But I live by this product. But, I mean, look at the person behind it. A Nobel Prize nomination for the formulation in the product itself. And so in this wheel, you have things that just make sense, from nutraceuticals, very high grade. You have skincare, everything you would need in skincare plus some. You have cosmetic, which is our hair care serum that's also a stem cell plant-based serum. And in addition to that, you also have, when you look at the serum, the plant-based serum for your hair, you also have an incredible, kind of may sound weird, a guy gets so excited about makeup, but being on stage, I think most guys on stage in direct sales would agree with this. We don't like makeup. It's very cakey, you're uncomfortable in it. Unbelievable makeup. It's an airbrush, first of its kind, in a can. So it's true airbrush technology in a can, and it's stem cell makeup. So it's healthy makeup. Okay, so it's good for your skin, and it's waterproof. Okay, so we have that line, and then we have an energy drink that's really it's a nice add-on. It's an all natural, doesn't give you the jitters. We've got the quick fixes where we've got an incredible eye cream. We were one of the first companies to put those significant eye creams that everybody else has tried to knock off now, where you're that 2 to 3 minute instantaneous result. Okay, it's called Instantly Ageless. Also has stem cell technology in it. So they've done an incredible job at putting it all together. And then last but not least, an incredible line we call Zen. Zen Project 8 is our health maintenance program. It's not a diet shake. We don't really necessarily believe in diet shakes, and I've tried everything under the sun. Those things typically don't work. You need something that you can live on. In other words, a lifestyle. Like, what can you actually, have success with long term? And I actually, this is interesting, Janet, I fluctuate in weight by like 20 to 30 pounds. I've done that my whole life. Okay, I go up and down and up and down. I have to work hard to stay in shape. I'm one of those guys, I take a couple weeks off and the donut's a lot better than anything else, and I'll pack on 20 pounds. And so Zen Project 8, why I've been on this now. It's actually, it's about 5 months. And what I think is the best thing about it is no calorie counting. So they figured out how to just live a normal life, and you use parts of your hand to measure your food. It's genius. And it's the simplest thing I've ever used. And it doesn't have 40 supplements to it. There's like 4 supplements. And it's I call it the Zen lifestyle because I travel a lot. You can eat right on a plane. You can eat right at a fast food restaurant. I mean, it really is an amazing system. So when you put all that together in this youth enhancement system, and of course we have Mona V, the famous Mona V. Most people don't know that when Jeunesse acquired Mona V, we kept the juice. And that has an incredible following. It's an incredibly tasting juice. Mona V did very, very well with that. And that's a really good product here as well. And so just putting it all together, we really have something for everyone here. And our number one selling product obviously is Reserve, which is somewhat famous in the industry at this point. I think we've marketed over 2 billion pouches of Reserve, which tastes like a snack. I can't believe it's healthy, but it's all the superfruits and antioxidants in a little pouch. And it has heart-friendly resveratrol. So that's the product proposition. It's very simple to learn. It's very easy to show someone, and we have videos and all the assets and great brochures that I think do a great job at just showing the customer what we have.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great product overview, Mark, and people constantly sing the praises of these products, and it exceeds their expectation. And I think the litmus test, if you're really with a legitimate network marketing company, bringing a true value to the marketplace, is would you take that product even if you couldn't earn commission off of it? And the answer is resounding yes. Those products are like appearance transforming and health transforming products, and they've managed to make them taste great, as you referenced, and most of them are in packaging, single serving packaging, so they're easy to sample, which is just an amazing advantage for us out in the field. All right, let's jump into the money. And you certainly know pay plans, Mark. Would you take just a minute or two and stop for Jeunesse?
Yeah, and so you just ask that one more time. You broke up just a little bit.
I was just saying, can you give us an overview of the compensation plan and let our viewers know how we make money here at Jeunesse?
You got it. And so I'm going to go into just the different areas, not into a full comp plan layout. The first thing is we have an incredible customer acquisition program and affiliate marketing program that probably most people don't know about. Most people know Jeunesse as a really strong binary plan. Of course, the foundation of our plan is a binary, which I like. I like the 2-leg build versus a 3-leg build. I've been in all kinds of different comp plans. I've been in the older comp plans that are kind of a stair step. I've been in a unilevel, but I do like the binary for the fact that you can really build very deep. And when you have a global company, you really want to be able to just really build deep and really get team synergy going that the binary is known for. But before we go into what most people already know about Jeunesse from that standpoint, I think Jeunesse has proven they've got a lot of top earners in the industry that have come out of that binary plan. Is for me, I'm a customer getter. I'm all about the customer. I'm all about building a team that gets the customer, but you gotta be able to get that customer satisfied using the product, and there needs to be an easy path for the customer to get involved in the company. And then as a new distributor that has no experience, that's never been in the industry, that's not a pro, that doesn't have 80 hours a week to build the business, is there a program for that new distributor to really make money? And so fairly recent, we've enhanced 2 of these programs. One is our customer acquisition program. We actually have a program, Janet, where you don't have to have any structure in your organization. Matter of fact, you don't even have to have an organization. And I think really this is the wave of the future of network marketing. And I think Jeunesse is way ahead of its time on some of these first to market programs. And so you could literally get involved and not sign up a single distributor and be able to build a business by just simply acquiring customers. And there's a completely different or separate section of the comp plan that's built for people that are like, hey, I'm not a builder, I'm not a recruiter, I'm gonna do this very spare time, I'm not gonna necessarily bring a lot of people in and build the sales organization. But I love the products, I know other people that love the products, and I'm looking to make some side money by selling the product. We actually have an entire compensation plan just for those people, okay? And I'm really excited about it because it's evolving probably every week. You've seen it evolve in your time here, right?
Right.
Yep. In addition to that, we have an affiliate program. Very unique. Once again, I think we're ahead of the curve on this. We know that social media marketing, influencer marketing right now is really big, digital marketing. But most people don't know how to do it, don't have the time to go learn how to do it, or are not going to go build all the assets required to be effective at it. What Jeunesse has done, we've built an entire digital approach for affiliate marketers. What that allows us to do is bring someone on that has, and I'm not, you can bring a super affiliate, which is, I would call someone that's got 1 million followers out there on Instagram. But it doesn't have to just be the Kim Kardashians of the world and the big high level super influencers, although I think they could plug into our system for sure. But you could go to someone, and I just actually went to a seminar recently where the wave of the future in influencer marketing is going to be those that have 500 to 1,000 followers. It's not going to be the big guys and gals out there in the world. It's shifting quickly because some of the big folks out there, they're being paid a lot of money to rep the product. So there's that, okay, are they just using that lipstick because they're getting X amount of money to wear the lipstick versus the influencer that's the mom and pop, the average people like you and I that have 500 followers, 1,000 followers on a Facebook page and pop a post about a great product that we're using. I popped up a post just after Christmas about how I was going to start the Zen program, and a lot of friends inboxed me, right, that don't do network marketing, that would never do network marketing, that are not a part of my sales organization, saying, hey, do you really believe in that product? Why do you think it's different? Are you really going to do it? Like, I'll do it with you. That's the wave of the future in direct selling on that lower level influencer marketing. And so we built a program around that. So someone can join. They're actually not a distributor. We call them an affiliate, okay? And what that is they don't have to build the 2 legs in the traditional binary. They don't have to hit a certain rank to unlock certain things in the comp plan. They are a true affiliate. So we built an actual separate vertical just for affiliate marketers. And then we built an incredible website called Jeunesse, which has all of the assets that someone that's an affiliate would just simply go pull one of those assets, and they are really well done. I know we talked briefly about this before our call today. Incredible branding, incredible marketing that our marketing department. I'll tell you, Mark Patterson is by far one of the best CMOs in direct selling. I mean, he's got it. I mean, everything they do is crisp. I know you and I are analytical on those things, right? Like, it's crisp. It's got to look really professional. It's got to pop when you put it on a brochure. Well, they did this for an affiliate marketer, where the affiliate marketer has endless resources. All the backlinking is on these posts, and you just drag that post into whatever, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're going to use, and you're up and running as an affiliate marketer. Someone clicks on that, they purchase the product. You're going to earn a percentage on gross sales. And so it's almost not network marketing at that point. It's true affiliate marketing. So once again, you open up the public book of Jeunesse, what people think Jeunesse has. Hey, Jeunesse has been one of the fastest companies. Jeunesse has great products. Jeunesse is global. That's just the beginning. When you unwrap the packaging, you have all these different programs that we're talking about.
Oh yeah, you're totally singing my song. Klaus, who joined me here, that was a huge priority for us in our decision-making process, Mark, because we saw this as the wave of network marketing, and we believe that it'll be the key that'll unlock all of North America. It's just the direction. And not even for just young people. Old people are desiring to be connected, and they're learning to fire up a computer, and they've made it so brainless that they can just pluck something out of that asset library and post and actually start building a little income for themselves. So we really like that. You spent a little bit of time talking about Jeunesse's marketing tools. I'd like you to spend a little bit of time of talking about what you've developed in Team Freedom and your rapid funnel app for us, if you would, please.
Yeah, I mean, Team Freedom, we're all about taking what does Jeunesse have and how can we make it better and simpler. Okay, so we're trying to make it, we use Jeunesse's assets, and then we try to break it down into that 1, 2, 3 step type system. And so one, I would say the competitive advantage that Team Freedom has for sure is our getting started process. Mm-hmm. Very dumbed down, very simple. It's a situation where you can bring on a new distributor, you can send them to a website. It's very simple. You download our one-page document. I always like holding this up because I like visuals. I'm all about one-page document. So this is literally our startup document. We make it very, very simple, because if you hand someone a manual that's new, I mean, when I looked at this industry, I was really a busy Navy guy. I was in cardiovascular cath lab program and working, 80 hours a week. You still have all your other things you have to do within the military. If you handed me a manual and said, here's how you run your spare time thing to make extra money, I'm out, right? But my mentors were very, very sharp. They said, Mark, listen, you're super busy. Rely on our talent. We've got a 2 or 3 step system. And so I used that for my whole career to how to make it simpler and simpler. And so our getting started process is very, very simple. We really focus on that. We're incredible communicators as an organization. And so what I mean by that is a new person is nervous. They don't, what do I do? How do I do it? What do I do first? What do I do second? And so lots of communication to that new person with private Facebook groups and phone app technology. We try to deliver the most basic information right to the new distributor. And we spend a lot of time and a lot of money on it, actually. We have a staff, we have a social media department, we have our own marketing department, digital department. My wife has coordinators across each country. We do language based. So like, you might have multiple countries that speak Spanish, for example. So we'll have a Spanish channel, an English channel, a Japanese channel, a Vietnamese, Korean, we keep on going. And so then we pull all of that together through 2 approaches. One, we have our own app, a Team Freedom phone app, in which we pull all of the assets that we want to use, because a company like Jeunesse has hundreds of assets. So we like to drill those down even into just a few assets. And then our training is in that app as well. And then we use social media pages that are really professionally done. I know, Janet, you were impressed with some of our private groups that are for customers. Absolutely. And then prospective distributors, right? And, to the naked eye, it looks good, looks pretty, feels good. But the logistics on the back end of that is a full-time job for about 10 people, okay? Because you have people approving posts, putting up professional content, making sure they're monitoring the sites. But our system is you can tag a potential customer into one of our social media platforms, and now they're getting delivered really good content. that can allow them to make a buying decision to buy the product. So lots of technology, lots of systems there. And then from a training standpoint, I think our Team Freedom University is a big thing that really helps us not only be consistent, but also to go global. So every Monday night in about 6 different languages, and we can go into any language we want when it's organically built in a country. That is professionally orchestrated. So none of our leaders have to make a PowerPoint, figure out how to make it look pretty, figure out how to make it compliant. We're doing that for all of our leaders, where we give you the slide deck, and you put your own personality into that slide deck. But that's every Monday night, and it's a 10-week curriculum, and then it rotates back to week 1. And it's got a professional host. It's going to give you all the pertinent information for your country or in your language for the first 10 or 15 minutes. And then the next 40 to 50 minutes will be a subject matter, okay, on how to do the business. And so when you tie all that together, for people like you and I that know what it's like to run a big organization, if you try to do it all on your own, it's a job. Right. It might be fun for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 years, especially if you're making a lot of income, but it's not why we joined the business, right? We've got kids, we've got a life, we want to have fun, we want to travel. So what system do you have that's operational 110% of the time when you don't want to be? And I think that's the competitive edge that Team Freedom has for all of our leaders. They plug into a system, but they are the system. I'm a trainer on that maybe every 5 or 6 weeks. I'm not the trainer, okay? And that's important, because a lot of times the person, the top pin on a team is they're in every video, they're the trainer for everything. We're the opposite. We want trainers, we want other personalities, and we pull them from all over the team and we orchestrate them on a calendar. And basically nobody knows who's a part of whose line or whose leg or rank or anything on our team, because we want it to be neutral, but we want it to be fun. And I think that's our competitive advantage. When you're part of our group, you're learning from someone that's from 18 to 80, you're learning from men, from women, from different people, from all different backgrounds. That's when you can build a true flourishing global organization. If it's one personality type that's 90% of the message, you're only going to get that personality type in your organization.
Right.
And you've probably seen that in your career, and that may or may not be the right organization. You want to have it really well blended.
Yeah, it's so diverse. I really enjoy that, Mark. And your system has literally just evened the playing field, where anybody can do what we've lined out for them at us. And then Klaus and I have totally enjoyed the leadership that you've provided, and you keep using that word, and you really have created a fun culture. We always look forward to plugging into that. So we've covered a whole lot here, and we're down to our last couple of questions. Mark, what advice would you give to someone who's considering getting started with Jeunesse, and what advice would you give to people who are recently enrolled here and help them shortcut their learning curve today?
So that's an easy answer for me. It's forget everything you know in network marketing. If you've been in network marketing, if you're a traditional business owner, forget everything that you know for a second. I look at people, sometimes people say the American dream is owning a business, right? And whether you like McDonald's, whether you're a vegetarian and you don't eat the Big Macs, put that aside for a second, right? McDonald's, as an example, is a proven franchise. Why do people line up and get on a list of 10,000 potential franchise owners and have to put maybe $1 million cash down on a franchise, like a McDonald's franchise? Why do they do it? Because it's proven. Because McDonald's Corporation has proven that if you follow the McDonald's system and you go to McDonald's University, and yes, they have a McDonald's University, that your burgers will taste the same and your profit margins will look the same, right? Well, that's why people join network marketing. They're joining for a proven, duplicatable system. But they come with all different other experiences, and they try to apply them to network marketing. Or they're a network marketer and they try to apply everything they've learned from 10 different companies over 25 years. And times have changed, right? I mean, this industry is evolving extremely fast. And so my number one thing would say, come to the table, plug into the system. Okay, this is a proven system. My wife and I don't normally say this number, we've built organizations over 1 million distributors, and we've done that in multiple countries, multiple languages. I only say that not to impress, for one reason: the system works. We're just two people. We're one couple in that system of thousands of other couples that are leaders that help propel that system. But that system has been proven to work over and over and over in multiple countries and multiple languages. And so give us a shot. Come to the table at your experiences, but really dumb it down a little bit. Even Janet, right? We've talked a lot about that. Janet, you're a pro at this industry, and Klaus is a pro at this industry, and you guys don't need us. Okay, you can go out there and build, and you have a system. But I think when we all come together and we have one way of doing it, one way of saying it, that, you know, everyone's using the same PowerPoint, everyone's pitching the same way, everyone's teaching the same way, within reason. You got to put your own personality in it. It's what a new person, it's a breath of fresh air to them, because it's like, oh, wow, it's not a different way of doing it every Monday. It's the same way of doing it, and you're able to get better and better and better because it's the same way of doing it. So I'd say plug in, give us a shot, you know, plug into a system, watch it replicate, watch your new people flourish, and just watch that system. That you have more breathing room because you just have hundreds of other leaders that are helping run the system, and you're not trying to do it on your own.
Wow. This was just incredible. Can we run out of time? But I will thank you so much for this valuable information and all the insights that you shared with us. We're so grateful for your commitment of time and what you've already done to pave the way for our success here, not just for skilled people and experience, but you've really created an opportunity for everybody, real shot here, and we are most grateful to you. Hope you enjoyed this interview today as much as I did, and that you benefit from Mark's experience and apply some of what you learned here to your situation. I know I'm personally working on implementing some of Mark's systems so that I can better organize my business and get more effective in sharing these incredible products and this business opportunity with as many people as I can. Now, before we close out our time together, I have a final message for all of the guests who are here with us today trying to decide if now is the right time, or whether Jeunesse is a company where they can earn extra money or build a full-time business like Mark and so many others have. So if you're one of the people like me who would love and join a solid and successful company where you get to share incredible health and beauty products with others from the comfort of home and make money doing it, then get in where you fit in, as we say, and say yes to Jeunesse like I did. All you have to do is to get started here is just reach out to the person who invited you to this meeting and ask them how to get in on the ground floor of this North American opportunity with this incredible organization. The timing of that couldn't be better for all the reasons you heard about today, but here's one more. Jeunesse just announced a new promotion to add additional bonus money from the entry-level position all the way to the top. And this exciting promotion goes from May until June, and it adds more money to the earning potential here and should give you one more big reason to join our family today. We want to thank you all for joining us, and I look forward to hopefully working with you and meeting you in person at a future Jeunesse event. Good day to all of you, and God bless you.